Hey everyone, this is me, the Undead Viking. I'm here with another Tales from Behind the DM Screen. My goal has always been to do 2 of these every week. I've met that or exceeded that, and sometimes, and maybe I've only had 1 sometimes, but I've got a lot of stories to tell, and I've got a lot of maybe advice to tell with these. So if you're enjoying these particular videos, please let me know with a comment, hit the old like button, hit a subscribe button, do your thing. As I've said repeatedly, I've been playing D&D for over 4 decades, and I've been a dungeon master for most of that. I've definitely played a lot, but I've been a DM mostly. So, as the title of this particular video says, this is the #1 enemy to anybody's RPG campaign. Now, this is not an enemy as far as like the monsters or like NPCs or anything. This is the enemy of the actual people playing the game, and that is scheduling. So I'm guessing a lot of you probably could have guessed what that was prior to me doing that kind of big reveal or whatever. But scheduling is a problem for RPGs. I just recently had a campaign that got like 1 session or 2 sessions in. It was an online campaign with a bunch of people, a bunch of friends I know, that I was more than willing to be the DM for it. We were like going to say, hey, we'll play, once a month kind of thing. And then it just fell apart, because people couldn't make it, and then it was like, okay, we'll reschedule the next week, and how does Monday work? Oh, Monday doesn't work for me. Okay, let's try Friday. Doesn't work for me. Okay, how about Sunday afternoon? And then eventually you find a time that works, and then last second somebody can't make it. Eventually it's just like people are like, screw it, it's just not going to work, and we'll try again some other time kind of thing. And I've had more campaigns end because of that than anything. Now, I am extremely lucky in the fact that I have the same gaming group in my area. I've been friends with most of the people in that gaming group for decades. And even the ones that I haven't been friends with, like I've become very good friends with them in like maybe the 5 or 6 years that I've known them. And so there's a sense of commitment within the group to each other to make sure they show up. Now, good friendships actually can work against that a little bit as well, because when you're like really good friends with somebody, you tend to give them a little bit of a slack, and it's like, oh, okay, like, and this is back when we would go to my friend Andy's house to play D&D. So Andy's really, I've known him since grade school. But like we would, Andy actually like bought a house, and he's been renovating it for like the last year or 2, and like it's just one of those processes that he works, and then his spare time he's just working on this house and making it really nice. And one of the things, because he is a very dedicated gamer, one of the things that he wanted to make sure that there was a very, very large room on the main floor of his house that was going to be a focal point for gaming. And so he's actually been very gracious to all of us to like kind of make a wonderful centralized spot for us to be able to play our D&D games. Now, sadly, we haven't played in person for quite some time, but here's the deal. The reason I'm mentioning that is like, and I was as much to blame for this as anyone, where it was people would say, okay, we're gonna play at 6 o'clock on Saturday, and then it'd be like 5:30 at my house, and to get to Andy's house, he lives fairly far away from me. It's about a 15-minute, 20-minute drive to get to his house, just because I have to kind of go through town. There's no easy way to get there. And it was one of those things where it would be like 5:30, and I know that I needed to leave like right then if I wanted to make sure I was there on time, but oh, quick, I'll answer this email, or oh, I needed to like help my son with some homework, or my wife wanted to talk about what we were doing the next day for dinner or something like that. And it was just like one of those things like, okay, I can be a few minutes late. And I would just be like, and then a few minutes late would turn into like 20 minutes late. And then the compounding problem there is that if you just get to be known as, but yes, we're going to play at 6, and but like the compounding problem is that, like, oh, but Lance doesn't show up until 6:15, so if he's not going to be there until 6:15, then why do I need to be there by 6 o'clock or 6:15? So I can leave my house a little bit later because Lance isn't going to be there. And then, of course, I get there at 6 for, like, the first time in, like, 2 or 3 sessions, and then I'm like, well, where the heck is Jason? Jason doesn't get there. And they're like, yeah, he's always late. And I'm like, well, then why am I busting my butt to get here on time if Jason's always late, you know? And so you kind of have this, like, perpetual, like, motion machine of late arrivals, if you will, and that's just kind of normal. I mean, when you become really good friends, and punctuality isn't a huge problem for lots of people, then, you know, it's just like, you know, it's like you kind of give people the slide. So that is annoying, right? Like, especially if you're, like, the person running the game, or if you're the person like my friend Craig, who's always there on time, and he has a legitimate beef about, like, I'm here at 6 o'clock, where are you? That kind of thing. Like, he has a legitimate, like, complaint, and you know, bless you, Craig, for being that person that, like, you know, does that. But here's the deal, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for myself. I have friends who, like, do not have children, or they do not have a wife, and they don't have the same, like, commitments on their life that I do. Now, I mean, they still have commitments and the things that are important, but you know, like, things come up when you have, when I live in a home with 3 other humans, 5 other animals, you know, weird things can happen, and unexpected things, and things can just kind of push things aside or make things difficult to succeed. And so I'm not making an excuse for it, but I'm just saying, kind of different worlds. But scheduling isn't even so much like being on time. It's also finding a time that everybody else can agree to, and finding a time that everybody else can commit to. Even if they're going to be a half hour late, they can still say, yes, I will be there. And here's the deal. And this is one of those things, too, where you will learn your gaming group, and you will learn what you can expect from them. I have a friend, a dear friend, and his name is Brad. Brad has a huge family, and he loves playing D&D. Just absolutely loves it. Like, can't get enough of playing the game. And this most recent campaign that I'm running, I just happened to be talking to Brad the other day, and I mentioned we were playing, and he was like, I'd love to get in on that. And the thing is that Brad, like, brings a lot to the table as far as his playing style, his energy, his attitude, and I wanted to include him, just because by including him, he was going to make the game more fun for everyone. The big problem with Brad is that he has a giant family, and a giant extended family that all live. He has a wife, he's got, I think, 5 kids, of varying ages. He's got a couple of grandchildren. He has most of his wife's relatives, like, all, like, live within 5 minutes. He has a huge extended family, like dozens of people that live in the area. And almost every weekend, there's usually something like a birthday party, or like an anniversary party, or just some sort of family get-together that that his attendance is you know, is strongly suggested that he be a part of. So Brad kind of gets a little bit of a nod, where it's like, okay, you can't be here right at 6, but you're going to go to this birthday party, and you're going to be able to, you know, be there until 7 at that birthday party, and then you're going to race home, and you can join the game late. And that's just kind of one of those things where it's like, we accept that about Brad. And sometimes Brad just can't make it, just for whatever reason. I can't do it this weekend, too much stuff going on. And so we accept that. But we do try to find a day, like, because you have you find the least common denominator, right? You find the day that the most people are not going to have problems with. And for our group, it just has come up that Saturday evenings are just kind of the best time to do it. And that can change, obviously. Like recently there was Halloween, and Halloween happened to be on a Saturday, and it was just one of those things where it's like everybody agreed that, hey, I was going to be spending that day with my family. Halloween is a big deal for us. It is a time to order in some Chinese food and go trick-or-treating, hand out candy, the whole 9 yards, and just have fun as a family. And so we weren't going to play. And so stuff like that can happen. But Saturday evenings is just the time that we play. And so it's just expected that everybody just be available Saturday evenings. It's expected that you talk to the other people that you have commitments to, your family, your friends, and say, Saturday nights are not the night to ask me to play, do something else, because it's just, you are, and because it's two things, right? One, it's like, if you have a regular Saturday night game, like my wife, she, Friday evenings, she gets together with her friends online and they play World of Warcraft. They just do that. That's like an every Friday thing. And I know that, like, if I want to, if something's going to happen, like, on a Friday evening and I'm like, hey, do you want to go do this, that, or the other thing? I know that, like, Friday nights, no, because she's going to do that. And so I respect that. I don't ask her or try to plan something for her on that day to make her have to choose between hanging out with me or doing something with me or doing something with her friends. And just the same deal. She doesn't do that for me on Saturday evening. She just knows. And so there's an expectation there and an understanding there. And I think that as adults, we need to figure that out. I mean, when we were kids, when I was a kid, I would just play D&D every Saturday from, like, the moment I woke up until the time I fell asleep. I used to camp out in a tent in my friend Joe Giefer's backyard, and with, like, groups of, like, 6 or 7 or 10 of us, and we just play Dungeons and Dragons in that tent all day long, and at night, and then we wake up in the morning and we play again. But I mean, you're a kid then. I mean, even in my 20s, like my early 20s, during my college years, like Saturdays, once again, it was Andy's place. It was Andy's parents' place where he was living, but the basement of his place was just the place where we played D&D. We went there and we, like, would go there, start playing on a Saturday at noon, and we would play until 2-3 in the morning. It's because we just didn't have any other commitments. And, like, it was just one of those things, right? It was just one of those situations where you don't really realize just how lucky you are at that time of your life when you don't have anything else going on that's pushing against your time. So all of these stories and all of these waxing poetic or whatever you want to call it about this is leading to this. So how do you defeat this enemy to your gaming time? How do you defeat the schedule sore, the enemy of your RPG game? So it's a few things. It's something I've already touched on before. It's finding a least common denominator, like finding that time that the vast majority of your group can commit to the vast majority of the time. And that is something very simple that you can just discuss with everybody. You can just talk to people and say, hey, what days work? And you can just set up a spreadsheet and you can, figure out the Venn diagram or whatever that will, like, fit people the best. And then what you need to do is you need to just ask everybody in the game group, and to just say, okay, so we're going to play every other Tuesday evening. You need to talk to the people in your life and say, this is what I'm doing on this time. And have them understand that this is something you've set up. This is something that's important to you. This is something that you're not going to be available otherwise, right? And just hopefully they will understand that, and they will respect that, and they will then make sure that like they do not try to impede upon that time as much as possible. And I think obviously if these are people that care about you and you care about them, they're going to respect that. Now I will say this, is that if you're going to specifically set a time that you're going to be spending with, like apart from your family, whether it's online or away, if you're going to specifically set up a time that you're going to be gone and doing that, then make sure that the people, your significant other, your children, your other friends, your other family, make sure they understand that they're important too, and make sure that like you set aside time for them, make them feel special, and make them feel like that. Hey, you know what? I'm doing this Saturday night, but how about on Sunday? We go and do this, go see a movie, or, obviously you can't really see a movie right now, but I mean, you know what I mean? You find time to like, appreciate the people that you aren't going to be spending time with on that particular time. So that helps a lot. If you're a person that like wants to make sure you can schedule those things and you want to make sure that like you're available, make sure that that 4 or 5 hour stretch of time that you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, where you're not available to the other people in your family or your friends, make sure that you are available to them apart from that. There's kind of like two different sets of then how do you make sure that scheduling is not a problem, and some of these rules are for the game master and some of these rules are for the players. So I'm gonna, and there'll be some crossover in the middle here a little bit. So the big thing is that in any case, if the specific date and time that you, and I have had people say that like at the end of each session they've discussed and say, okay, so the next time we play will be this date. Does that work for everybody? Does that work for everybody? And they've had success with that. I find that doesn't work as well as just setting up a specific time and day, and it just kind of says this is the these 5 hours on Saturday night, I'm not going to be available for any other thing. I'm not going to be available to like go and go out to eat or have a movie night or anything like that. This is the time I'm going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons, and that way like the other things can be worked around with. But if you find a different way that works, good for you. Go with that. But the thing that if you have a specific time that you're going to start, you're going to play, and you can't make it on time, I don't care if it's 1 minute late or an hour late or whatever, or you can't make it for some reason, you need to let the other players and the game master, and if you're the game master, obviously, you need to let people know, hey, I can't be online at 6, or I can't be at Andy's house at 6. I can be there by 6:30. It is just common courtesy. It is just kindness. It is just the right thing to do. It is the right thing to, as just being a decent human, to let them know that, like, hey, I'll be there, but I can't be there until then. And just do it. And if you do it, then the other people will slowly but surely learn that, hey, I'm always like 10, 15 minutes late. And every single time, Angel says he's going to be like 10 minutes late, he always lets us know. Maybe I should start doing that too. So, I mean, it's definitely like something that you will, if people will learn through your actions kind of thing. Now, the other thing is, if you're playing in the campaign, be prepared. Don't show up for a game session and like you leveled up last session and you haven't bothered with doing any of your leveling up stuff yet. You've had multiple days between the last time you played and now for you to level up your character or do all the maintenance you need or just be ready to go. Even if you're going to be late, just be ready to go. If you're 20 minutes late and you sit down at the table or you log into Roll20 or whatever, and you want to begin playing, being ready to go the moment that you are there is eminently important. If you have questions about your character or what you need to be in this day and age with phone calls, text messages, email, Discord, all these different ways you have to contact people and let them know that, hey, whatever. there are so many different ways that you can contact people and get a hold of people and do these things. There's no reason why, if you have questions between sessions, you can't reach out to your dungeon master and say, hey, I was going to level up my guy, but is this okay if I take this feat, or is this okay, can I have this spell? Those are things you can handle through any one of messaging possibilities. So treat the campaign you're involved in with respect, because what I'm getting to is no matter what you do with your character, I mean, like as far as, you know, leveling them up or maintaining their character sheet or whatever, it is 4% of the amount of prep work that your dungeon master goes through to make sure that the next session is ready to go. I have a session tomorrow. I have to go. Because we play on Roll20. I've spent the last 2 weeks. I've been creating different maps that are going to be important. I need to upload those to Roll20. I need to get the lighting effects set up on them. There's all kinds of different things that I have to do. It's going to take me it's taken me several hours prior to the session that I have tomorrow to get that ready, and it's going to take me even a few hours this evening to finalize those and get those done and uploaded and ready to go as well. And and I do that because I love it. I love the creation process. I love the big reveal. I love oh, hey, this is where you're at and this is what's going on. I love telling my story. So it isn't me saying, it's like these jerks, they don't know what I know. They don't know what I go through to make sure this happens. It's not like that at all. What it is it's like one of these things where I'm like, if I do get to the point where it's like I've done a lot of work and done a lot of prep and I've done a lot of what have you, and I have a player that shows up 2 hours late, doesn't let me know, comes in and says, oh, hey, I haven't even bothered, hold on, I can't find my character sheet right now, I don't know where it's at, hold on, let me find some dice, I gotta get a pen, you're like, geez, really? I know life happens, but I expected a little bit more, from your commitment to this. So, players, just be ready. Now, dungeon masters, there's a few things. One, all that prep work that I was mentioning, that I was talking about, that you need to do. You need to do that prep work, and you need to be ready to go. There is no excuse for if you've had a week or more to get your game ready to go. There is no excuse to all of a sudden thinking, oh, I've got to work really hard and I've got to make sure that oh, hey, just hold on, guys, I need to set this up, I need to do this, just hold on, I gotta check this stat for this monster, I've got to put this down, I gotta write this up. No. If you aren't ready to go for the session, you need to let people know that hey, look, it's not going to work today. My real job just slammed me. I had family come in from out of town, whatever. Same difference. You need to respect the players. They are coming to your table, virtual or not, to sit down and play your game. You owe it to them to have your game ready to go and made to the best of your ability, because they're taking time, prep work aside, they're taking time away from their family and friends and whatever, and if they're sitting down to play something that's substandard or not to your fullest, it's this is important. Time is, as they say, is the one resource that all of us are using up, and we never get back. We never get back the time that we spend. So it's something where the players, you need to as the dungeon master to respect the fact that people are coming to your table to play the game that you're creating and the game that you're running, that they're excited to play. You need to take that respect, and you need to treasure that respect that those players are giving you. Now, the other thing, just very, very basically, as the dungeon master, send out an email, send out a text, send out a message, send out a direct, whatever, however. And I do multiple ways, right? It's I send out a text message a week before the game session. I send out a text message that says, "We're playing Saturday night, 6 o'clock. Let me know if you can't make it." And then it just, because people respond to calls to action. It's just one of those standard things. Why do you think these YouTube videos, people say, hey, subscribe to my channel? So if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed to my channel, hey, subscribe to my channel. I mean, you respond to a call to action. If you let somebody take their time to and to decide whether or not they're going to do it on their own, yes, some people will do it, but if you actually ask somebody, look, or can you play on Saturday, they're going to let you know if they can or can't. So I send out a text, and I get, and then usually most people say, I'm good to go, game on, let's play. Prior to that, today, I'll send out an email to everybody. Hey, we're playing tomorrow at 6. Here's the link. Here's the whatever. And Roll20, there's a wonderful process where you can actually set up a schedule of the game. And then because each player has signed in Roll20 with their email, you can then click a button and it'll send an email to them and say, hey, your next game session's at this time and at this date. You know, it's like, be ready to go. You know, and these are things that are like, once again, calls to action, if you will. Then, like I said, when it comes time to actually play, just be ready to go. I try to have my Zoom link emailed out to everybody that we use to converse on. I try to have my Zoom link up and ready to go at least a half hour before, so people can log in. The players, if they want to log in early, they can talk amongst themselves. They can say, hey, what's going on? How you been? How was your week? We can get a lot of the chattiness taken care of and put away. And then when we start at 6, we can start at 6. So there you go. I mean, this really long story, very short, is like, if you want to play your D&D campaign and you don't want it to die in the vine, really simply, set up a date and a time that reoccurs, whether it's once every 2 weeks, once a week, once a month, whatever. Set up a time and date, and it is the same every single schedule. It's like boom, 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 boom. Your players can expect it. They can set the clock to it, and they know what's going to happen. Then, if things change, as soon as you know you can't play, as soon as you know you can't go, as soon as you know you can't be there on time, let everybody else know. Even if you're like, even if it's I got this thing I got to do at 5. It should be done by 5:30. I should be on time at 6. Might be a little bit late. Let people know. Just say, hey, I might be a little bit late. And because that's just common courtesy, right? And 3, if you are going to be playing the game, just be prepared. Just respect everybody else's time that they've set aside for this game, whether you're the dungeon master or the player, and respect that, and be ready to roll and ready to go. And that applies to everyone in the situation. So there you go. Scheduling, not the most exciting as far as stories go, but I think this was something that I just thought of, and something that yeah, I mean, it's something that I think a lot of people take for granted, and a lot of people don't know how good they have it as well. If they have a group like I do that I can count on to show up every 2 weeks to play a game, I think that's, I don't know how awesome I have it as far as that goes. So there you go. If any of you, as always, please hit the like button, the subscribe, or whatever it is that you want to do. If you have any ideas for sessions or of these sessions, if you have any ideas for these videos, please let me know. And I really appreciate the interaction that I've been getting from people on these. It really means a lot to me. So thank you very much for that. Until next time, I'm the Undead Viking. This is Tales from Behind the DM Screen. Until the next time we roll, just be the best version of you can possibly be. All right, take care. Bye-bye.